Christmas Eve, when the enemy took a bite of chocolate. Joyeux Noël is a 2005 World War I film based on a true and largely suppressed event. On Christmas Eve of 1914, French, German and Scottish soldiers stopped killing each other. Not because the war was over, not because politics changed, but because something more powerful than fear briefly returned to their awareness. The film opens by showing how war actually begins, not on battlefields, but in classrooms. Children are taught to recite speeches praising their nation and condemning an enemy they have never met. Before a rifle is lifted, a mind is trained. Before blood is spilled, identity is installed. They are not like us. War begins when a child learns to say "they" with certainty. By the time we reach the trenches, that belief is fully operational. Men no longer see faces, they see targets. They no longer hear voices, they hear threats. The only thing holding the war together is the idea of a hostile enemy. Take that away, and nothing else works. The war is not sustained by bullets. The war is sustained by a thought. On Christmas Eve, the war is already exhausted. The men are cold, grieving, and hollowed out by repetition. Families exist only as photographs. Wives are memories. Children are names spoken softly into the dark. The fighting continues not because anyone believes in it, but because stopping has not yet occurred to them. Then something small happens. A German soldier offers chocolate to an enemy soldier across no man's land. The offer is simple, human, but the response is hesitation. The soldier does not refuse because he is cruel. He refuses because he has been trained. If they are not like us, then even kindness might be poison. So he says the only thing his conditioning allows. You go first. The man bites the chocolate. He chews. He swallows. He lives. And in that instant, the psychological structure of war collapses. Because the body has just contradicted the story. The first bite is not dessert. It is disarmament. The chocolate is safe. The enemy is human. Fear has nowhere to stand. And here is the deeper cut. The enemy was never a person in a trench. The enemy was a private image held in the mind and protected by distance. Chocolate closes distance, so the image cannot survive contact. Nobody ever meets a hostile enemy. Only a mind meets its own projection. The exchange does not stop there. The soldier who received the chocolate offers champagne in return. Not survival now, but celebration. Not defense, but recognition. They drink together. They laugh. They show photographs of wives and children. They speak of gardens, cafes, streets, and homes that still live inside them. And without ever saying it aloud, they all realize the same thing. They are the same. Champagne is the ego's nightmare, because celebration requires no justification. That is when the ego attempts a comeback. A cat wanders through the trenches, neutral, alive, unaffiliated. Immediately an argument breaks out.
That's our cat. No, it's ours. His name is Felix. No, his name is Nestor. This is not about the cat. It is about naming, ownership, control. The ego trying to reassert itself now that fear has failed. Because if it cannot say, "You are dangerous," it will try to say, "This is mine." When fear collapses, the ego retreats into naming. Felix, Nestor, mine. But the argument does not hold. It collapses under its own silliness. Once fear has dissolved, labels lose their power. They can hear themselves arguing, and that awareness exposes the lie. And here is the next level deeper. War is the macro version of that cat argument. It is a dispute over names dressed up as destiny. Borders are just Felix written larger. Flags are just Nesta stitched into cloth. The ego is always doing the same thing, claiming reality by labeling it. The world's biggest conflict is still the smallest sentence. This is mine. This is why what follows is so devastating. Because once chocolate has been shared, the truth cannot be unseen. Once champagne has been exchanged, killing becomes unbearable. Once family photographs have been shown, the word enemy no longer fits. That is why authority must step in. That is why the bishop later preaches a sermon declaring holy war. That is why children must be retrained. That is why hatred must be taught again. Because hatred does not arise naturally. It runs against human recognition. Hatred must be rehearsed because it is unnatural. Love needs no training. Those who experience the truce never speak of it again, not out of shame, but because it cannot be explained. It can only be lived. And here is the final turn of the blade. After the holy instant, the men must return to their posts and pretend the truth did not happen. They must pick up rifles with hands that just held champagne. They must aim at faces that just smiled back. They must obey orders that require amnesia. This is why the system punishes them, not because they did wrong, but because they briefly remembered what they are. The truce is punished because it proves the war is optional. Joyeux Noël does not argue that humans are good. It reveals something more dangerous. That separation is fragile. That war depends entirely on distance. But once contact replaces concept, the entire system fails. Christmas Eve is the moment before the miracle is buried again. The moment when the enemy took a bite of chocolate and disappeared.